Hello guys and welcome back to Married at First Sight Australia, and today we are talking about another commitment ceremony. I think this is the 7th commitment ceremony, maybe 6th, I'm not entirely sure. There have been a lot of them so far, and unfortunately we will be bidding farewell to two of the couples today. Two of the couples have decided to leave the experiment. Who is that? Well, you'll have to stick around and wait and see. But before we get into the episode, I just want to say thank you guys very, very much for watching and supporting the channel. You guys are amazing and I'm loving the support. So thank you guys very, very much. We have got Traitors Season 2 of the US coming out on Wednesday. So make sure you stick around for that. And I'll see you guys in the video. So the first couple up on the couch today is going to be Sarah and Tim. Now, Sarah and Tim have had a very turbulent journey throughout the competition. There have been a lot of bumps in the road, and it seems like the last bump that they had is their final one, question mark? It really does seem like Sarah has fully admitted that she is in the wrong, and she's willing to actually change herself for the better and stop sort of talking over him and stopping him from talking and just being a bit of a negative influence on him, if I'm being 100% honest. It does really feel like she has changed in the last couple of weeks, and I do appreciate that from her. I like to think that it is a genuine change and it's not just for show. And she's obviously very deeply sorry for what happened. She did go and meet her ex, which was a little bit awkward and uncomfortable. But it's been said, it's been talked to death, and people kind of just need to let it go. Because if Tim wants to go back there, let him. He's a big boy, and he knows what he's getting himself in for. However, Jaden just can't keep things to himself, and I don't know why Eden keeps telling Jaden, because it just spirals out of control. I'll get more into the whole Jaden Eden dynamic a little bit later when I talk about them on the couch, but Jaden basically accused Sarah of talking about Tim behind his back and laughing with her ex about him, and this all came from Eden, who heard it from Sarah, and Sarah was like, no, that didn't happen. And even Eden was like, well, I have no proof of this, so why have you brought it up? Why have you done this? Why have you said this? And Jaden did just end up looking like a bit of a mug, I won't lie. Because it's all well and good to say, oh yeah, Sarah said these things about you, but you weren't even there when it happened. You're technically a third-party source. Not even second party, you're third, fourth, fifth, sixth, who knows how many parties you are down the line. So why are you bringing this to the attention of everyone on the couch? Because it's got nothing to do with you. You are just trying to find faults with Sarah, and it is getting a little bit vindictive and nasty now, and I have kind of had enough of it. It is a bit pathetic. Grow up. So, yep, I'm glad that Sarah bit back, fought back, and it seems like they're in a very, very good position currently. Obviously, there's still progress to be made, but they have both decided to stay, which is great, and I'm excited to see where they continue on this journey. Up next, we have Lucinda and Timothy. Now, Lucinda and Timothy have had a real breakthrough over the last couple of weeks. They even shared a little cheeky kiss at the dinner table at the dinner party last night. And I think that they are definitely moving in the right direction. Timothy is talking about how he doesn't really like to put his feelings out on display, but Lucinda makes him, and it makes him feel much better when he does it, and he is really appreciative of that. And they were talking about how, like, oh, admiration turns into love, and it's, oh, that's really cute. I think that there is definitely something here. Obviously, we've only got 2 more weeks left of the competition, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I think that they're definitely on the right track, and I'm very hopeful that this is going to work out. To be fair, one thing could seriously derail this. Like, a rock on the tracks could easily send this into a horrific tragedy. But for now, I'm feeling hopeful. I like the way it's going. I think that they're definitely in a good position. So, fingers crossed, eh? So, next up on the couch was Jonathan. Jonathan didn't have Lauren with him this week because Lauren's obviously still recovering from surgery, which is such an unfortunate thing to happen in the middle of this show, but is what it is. They didn't really talk to him much. They were just like, oh, how you feeling? Yep, good, cool. Right, let's just go to the decision. All right, chill. Yeah, nice, lovely, beautiful. And then he just said stay, and then Mel was like, oh, and I have it on good authority that Lauren also said stay too. And I was like, oh, well, that works out wonderfully, doesn't it? Imagine if she was like, nah, actually, I'm leaving. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you later. That would be actually really funny. That would have made me chuckle, I won't lie. So up next, we have Cass and Tristan, and I noted in the last episode at the dinner party that, hang on a minute, we haven't seen them all week, like, at all, especially after, at the last commitment ceremony, Tristan professed his love for Cass, and then she wrote leave, so it was a little bit awkward. So I was like, what's going on here? What's happening? And rather unsurprisingly, I have to admit, they decided to leave the experiment. They had a week where they basically just came to the realization that they were better off as friends, and there just wasn't going to be anything there. They feel like they've gotten some kind of closure on this. It sucks. Listen, when you fall in love with someone, or you feel like you're falling in love with someone, and then something like this happens, it's crushing. It's awful. And like, I mean, I guess they're lucky that they were in a relationship for what, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, and it wasn't almost 2 years or something like that. It just, it's hard. It's hard. Like, breakups are not fun, and yeah, it's rough. But I feel bad for them, but also I just don't think it was working. So they both decided to put leave, and they came out of it feeling very good about each other, which I really respected. And yeah, I liked that. I thought that was really beautiful. I'm just gutted that they didn't find the one with each other. So up next is the apparent golden couple of the competition, Jaden and Eden. If that gold is knockoff from the corner shop, maybe that's exactly how I describe this couple. But yeah. So much went wrong, and I don't understand how we've gone from 0 to 100. Jaden and Eden have always presented themselves as one of the strongest couples in the competition, but apparently there's been all of these cracks forming over the whole entire experiment, and now it seems like they've ruptured and lava's spewing out. Do you know what I mean? So apparently Jaden feels like she takes out her frustration on him. That was a mouthful, but I hope that makes sense. And he also spoke about how she gave him an ultimatum regarding the whole Sarah chatting about Tim behind his back situation. Eden keeps telling Jaden information and then being like, no, but you can't tell anybody. If you don't want him to tell anybody, don't tell him in the first place. That's just how I feel about that situation. Do you know what I mean? It's uncomfortable and it's weird, but also don't tell your partner if you don't want him to say anything to his friend. If it's about his friend, do you know what I mean? Also, don't make threats like, if you say anything, I'm going to write leave. Because that's so bad. That's horrendous. I really don't understand how Eden has gone from 0 to 100 on the crazy scale factor. Do you know what I mean? And apparently, like, he does all of these wonderful things for her, and then one day he didn't, and she was like, oh, why don't you do something nice for me for once in your life? I was like, huh? Oh, God. It really does feel like just everything has gone wrong for these two, and I don't know whether they're going to be able to get this back, because I think they both decided to stay. I don't think I saw a leave from either of them, but fuck me. Jesus Christ. Oh, God, I didn't expect this to go downhill so quickly. So, up next we have Jade and Ridge. Jade and Ridge are the actual golden couple of the competition. Who'd have thought it? Because I'm sorry, but This man walked in looking like an absolute mug, and he's come off being one of the best guys in this competition. I'm in pure, unadulterated shock at how well this has gone for him. He is so genuinely lovely. Jade is really appreciating all the effort that he's putting into sort of getting to know her daughter and really caring for her. This guy is showing the other guys how they need to behave in a relationship. And again, circling back to my earlier point, how from the guy that walked in and was like, "Dees, yeah, dees," I am mind blown is the word I would use, probably. Mind blown is correct. Jesus, yeah. Wow is all I can say to this. Wow. Wow. So up next, we got Jack and Tori. Oh, God. So, the first half of the whole sit down on the couch was basically finding out how Jack feels about Tori. And, what's his face? John was like, I am not buying how you're feeling about Tori. How do you feel about Tori? And he's like, oh, yeah, she's a good one. Yeah, she's nice. I like her. Yeah. And he's just using very empty words that there's no actual feeling there. And then when he's asked, okay, well, how do you genuinely feel about Tori? He said something along the lines of like, oh yeah, I sleep really well at night, actually. Yeah, I sleep really well. And I was like, huh? How is that an answer to the question? What? I'm so over him. I think I wrote every answer just feels devoid of emotion. Devoid. Like, he's just talking the talk, but there's no walking of walks being done. And it's getting frustrating now. So then, obviously, the combo with Jade gets brought up. And he's like, oh, well, she is my type. And I was like, what? But you said you said to Jade, she said, if there was someone more your type, would you have slept with them by now? And you said, probably yes. Or yes, probably. So if she is your type, why have you not slept with her? And then, this is where it gets really frustrating. Because Tori's just as bad. He's obviously just a bit of a dickhead, but she's just a bit of a muppet. Because she seems to be willing to forgive a lot of things. And she's sitting there defending him. And the whole group is sitting there going, no. At one point, she was describing how Jack could be. And she paused for a moment. And Lucinda went, cruel. It's like, oh, he can be. And then Lucinda went, cruel. And Tori was like, well, that's a word that you'd use to describe him, but I wouldn't. And I was like, this woman genuinely just doesn't see it, does she? She doesn't see what everybody else is seeing. It's crazy to me. And then obviously the whole sex thing gets brought up again. And then she started being like, I don't really want to have sex now. I don't want to give the group the satisfaction of us having sex just to prove a point. I don't want to give them the satisfaction. So what actually is the fundamental point of your relationship? Because currently, you're just cohabitating. And apparently they do other sexual things. Okay, cool. But, do you know what I mean? It's just weird. I wrote right at the end, it's been a lost cause for weeks. I think the experts should just give up. I genuinely think they should just give up. Because they're sitting there literally warning Tori, why are you doing this to yourself? And she's like, yeah, I like him. Yeah. But she's like so fiercely defendant about it. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. Let her realise how much of a mug she's been taken for. So our final couple on the couch is Andrea and Richard. Yeah, this one I could see where it was going from the offset. I think this is one of the first commitment ceremonies where Jack and Tori haven't been the final pair on the couch. Andrew and Richard, there's just been a huge disconnect between them for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I think it's just because Andrea is just not willing to let go of stuff that he has done in this experiment that has rubbed her up the wrong way. The stuff that he has apologized for again and again and again, and he can't keep apologizing for because it feels like it's being held over his head like, I don't know, like a noose to hang himself. It's really unfortunate because I think Richard's a decent bloke, or deuce, as Rich would say, but I just think that they're just ill matched. I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame. And he was like, I've just felt like there's been a massive fall off from the first couple of weeks. We were going so strong, and then it was like tanked, gone, out of here. And Andrew was like, that's because we didn't know each other at the start. Once we got to know each other, that's when the cracks started to form. And I was like, that's quite harsh, I think. That's that's not something you want to hear. Oh, when did things start falling apart when we got to know each other? It's not great, and it's a shame, it really is, but there's not really much you can do about it. They both decided to leave at the end of the day, and again, not surprised in the slightest. I think they're better off out of this experiment. I think that there wasn't much more left to be said with those two, but it is what it is. But that is all we've got time for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, doing all those YouTube things that you guys do so well. And I will see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.